David.
I'm Julie.
So now we're going to do the review of Welcome to Your Perfect Home.
Ooh.
Again, this is part of our project of the top 100 family games according to Board Game Geek,
Right.
as rated by users of Board Game Geek. And Welcome to happens to be in the top 20 as of August 2019. So hopefully you've had a chance to watch the How to Play video and the playthrough. So let's take a look at the overview before we give you our impressions. All right, so it's a family game. It's interesting that you can play up to 100 players because if everybody has the same score sheet, I mean, you could put it on a document camera or a projector.
That'd be a big party game.
And do it in a big room. Playing time is 25 minutes, ages 10 and up. The mechanics are paper and pencil, pattern building, simultaneous action selection, and it's published by Blue Cocker Games. So, Julie's going to give her opinions first. And the way we do this is that we come up with our list separately. She has no idea what I selected, but
Nope.
I do mine first before I see hers. So she'll see mine for the first time.
And
here.
we usually do a lot of the same ones,
Some
actually.
of them, some of them are the same.
Okay,
All
let's
right.
see what I said. I don't remember.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. I found it to be an interesting race game. And I say race game because you are trying to fill out your little sheet before the other person so you can win the game. And the cards are a very neat concept of how you flip them over, and that determines the number you use and what kind of card it is. And if you see the playthrough or the how to play, that will be explained more in detail.
So, yeah, you get to see right here what's coming up.
Right.
Next. And by the way, the reason why you said it was a race game is
Yes.
because the game can end in different ways depending on if you're going for the filling in your neighborhood before another player or getting the
city
contract
plans. Or city plans. Thank you. Okay, it's not a long game, which is a huge plus for me. And I found it easy to play. And once David explained things that I had missed, it was easier to learn.
No, the reason why Julie's saying that is because I sometimes don't have time to read all the rule books. So if we get a game that appears to be easy to learn.
And looks can be deceiving.
Yeah, again, just because it might be laid out well.
Doesn't mean it's easy for me to learn.
It's missing examples.
Yeah, we even had to go on Board Game Geek to get some clarification.
It's missing enough examples. So when she was teaching, I said, well, what about this or that?
I'm like, I don't know.
And I looked in there. It wasn't her fault. It wasn't explicit.
Right.
And so we had to go to Board Game Geek and actually watch someone else's video.
Yeah.
To find out specifically how a couple of things worked for us to learn. So
I guess it wasn't really easy to learn. It was easy to...
it's easy to teach it to somebody.
Yes, it's easy to teach it. So I guess I should have said easy to teach. It doesn't take long to learn once you kind of know what's going on. So for us, it'd be easy to teach someone how to play because we've been through it a couple times.
Right. So there's just a couple of key principles that when you're filling out the neighborhoods that... Again, would have benefited from more examples.
Oh, I agree. Well, let's see what you have to say, honey.
All right, so let's take a look here.
David's turn.
All right, so I thought it was refreshing mechanics. This is the only current paper game that we have where, usually you have roll and writes, like Yahtzee was one of the first ones, and there's a whole bunch of games like that coming out now. But this is not a roll game. This is when you look at the cards.
Flip card game.
Yeah, when you look at the cards, you're selecting actions. So we don't have a game like this in our collection. So for us, this is unique.
Yep.
So tense decisions. So when you watch the playthrough, you'll see us doing our, here you go, an educator term, metacognition.
Watch out.
Thinking about thinking. We're actually doing a think aloud about our decisions. And so that's what makes it tense because you know that if you put an address somewhere in the neighborhood in the wrong way or do a fence in the wrong way, it's going to affect...
really mess you up later on.
It's going to affect your ability to get these city plans. So, yeah, it definitely messes you up if you don't plan ahead well.
I agree.
So it's fast playing, which is something that we like when we're tired or we don't want to play a long game. So, but it's mostly a solo game, which is neutral for me, meaning that the only time you can really affect somebody, and it did happen in the playthrough for the first time, is I because that's why we call it a race game, is that you don't know when the game's going to end.
Right.
And I was able to end the game prematurely,
Yep.
really reducing Julie's score.
That was okay.
And like I mentioned already, the rule book does lack some clarity on some key issues that, for instance, how you're filling out your neighborhoods. It would have been nice to have more examples of
Sure.
doing that, or even a playthrough in the rule book, so that you have a better
Well, that would have
idea.
been interesting.
Yeah, that's one of the recommendations in my dissertation on how to write rule books.
Ah, very
not
nice.
all rule books do that.
Ah, okay.
But rule books that have less complaints on Board Game Geek
Have a lot of examples
usually has a
and stuff.
playthrough and things like that.
Yeah.
So there's, like I said, there's not standards yet
Ah,
that will be
okay.
released soon on how to write rule books, or at least standards that could be debated as to whether or not they should be standards.
Ah,
All right, anyway.
let's
so-
go to our Board Game Geek rating thing.
Yeah, so let's take a look at how we ranked it according to the Board Game Geek scale.
I bet we're the same.
And we both
we
said very
are.
good.
Yes.
And that's because even when there's a game that we get to do a video on, and we play it, a couple times, and then we still want to play it again, that's a good sign.
Absolutely.
Sometimes we'll play a game a couple times and we'll set it on the shelf. And so
Yeah.
games below 6 tend to be games we trade away. So 6 and
Right.
up, it's definitely games we'll keep. 5 and below, we'll probably
Not so
trade
much.
away or do at a swap meet at a show.
Right.
But it's definitely an 8 right now. We do enjoy playing it and would suggest it to each other, but also
Definitely.
recommend it for other people to own.
Oh, yeah.
So that is,
Welcome to your
Yeah.
perfect home.
oh wow, look at that, competing.
Ooh.
And if we get 100 likes, we'll do on any video, either on the playthrough or the how to play or this review, we'll do a video on the expansion.
Ah,
So I'm David.
I'm Julie.